Being a mother to teenagers, I acknowledge that the challenges of teenagers are real. Their feelings are real. This is Hope in Sharing, a forum for teens by teens, sharing real life experiences, challenges, and advices. I am Samuela, creator and host of Hope in Sharing. Talk to us, teens.
Hey, I got you, you got me too. And I tell you what we gonna do. You hear me, I hear you too. Oh, I give you hope and sharing. You give me hope and sharing. We know there's hope and sharing. Hope and share.
Hey everyone, welcome to Hope in Sharing. This is our first episode, and on this forum, you'll be hearing about real life experiences and challenges that young people, especially teenagers, are going through today. And we have a beautiful panel here today for lovely ladies, and we're hoping that this forum would be a forum that would encourage young teenagers out there or preteens that might be going through something and thinking that they're the only ones experiencing this. The focus is just to help and to have kind of like an online community where they can come to and get some kind of a help or an encouragement. So we hope that this is inspirational and it's helpful for you. We would love it if you could subscribe to this channel because we really want to expand our online community. So just click on the subscribe button and the notification bell if we should trouble you even further, because then you get updated each time we upload a new episode. So without further ado, I am Samuela. I am the creator and the host of Hope in Sharing, online community for teens by teens. I'm not a teenager, but I relate very well with them. So, and I also have a teenager daughter, so and son. So, but without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you my wonderful panel of 4 beautiful, bright ladies. And I would also like to tell you that we're doing this show in English, but English is not their first language. So please, if there's any grammatical errors, just overlook it and just stick to the content and the point of it. Okay, so you can start.
My name is Ines and I'm 16 years old.
And my name is Sasha and I'm 17 years old.
My name is Luna, I'm 15 years old. And I'm Jayla and I'm 16 years old.
Amazing. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So good to have you. Are you feeling good today?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you shy?
Excited?
Excited? That is so good. That's so good. So welcome. We're doing it here in our living room with our cakes and drinks, and we're just as cozy as it can be. So you to grab whatever you can grab and just join the conversation. Our topic for today is actually about peer pressure. I'm sure a lot of young people have heard that word before, have experienced it, and if you haven't, I'm sure you've heard the word. But I'm just going to throw it out there to the panel first to ask them about what do you think about, ladies, when you hear the word peer pressure? What comes to mind? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that peer pressure is when you're pressured to do something or have a certain opinion by other people, or something that you might think that other people think that you're supposed to think. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, anyone else?
It's about wanting to fit in a box or fit in, be normal, but it isn't in a good way.
Okay, yeah.
It could also, it doesn't necessarily have to be people standing around you like chanting to do this or do that. But it could also just be in your head, and you kind of convince yourself that, oh no, if I don't do this, I won't fit in, and if I don't do this, they won't like me or respect me. So it doesn't have to be people directly telling you, you need to do this before you can hang out with us. It could also just be you feeling like you're left out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like Luna said, it doesn't always have to be something they tell you. It can also be something that they expect you to do, or something you feel like they expect from you. So sometimes it's just a thought you have or a feeling that you have that you get.
That's right.
Yeah.
Guys, I told you I have a very smart and bright panel. Now we're just gonna go to one dictionary out of many, the definition of what a peer pressure is. And I wrote it down just so I don't misquote anything. It's from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. It says a peer pressure is a feeling that one must do something, the same thing as other people of one's age and social group in order to be liked or respected. You can even say accepted by them. So, and I think you've touched that. So that's thumbs up to you guys. So now we open the discussion. Have any one of you experienced any form of peer pressure? And what was it and how did you deal with it? Can just jump in.
Yeah, in 6th or 7th grade, when everybody, or the girls in my class started wearing makeup, I didn't really feel like I was at place to do that. So I really felt like I was behind and I felt left out because everybody else was doing their mascara and lip gloss and lipstick to school even.
Wow.
And it wasn't like we had parties to go to or nothing. It was just
for school.
Yeah, just for school. And I feel like, oh my God, that's what grown-ups do. And I don't feel like quite grown up yet. But then again, they never told me, oh my God, you don't wear makeup. Luna doesn't wear makeup, so she can't hang with us. But I still felt like, oh my God, that's what they think. And that's what everybody thinks when they see me because everyone else other than me is wearing makeup. So I started to try and wear a little mascara to school and I just felt out of place. And especially when I was younger, it was something that you see these models in magazines to wear makeup and just it wasn't something that I felt I was supposed to be doing.
No.
But they didn't directly pressure me into it. But now I wear makeup, but it's only because now I feel good about doing it.
And you choose to do it.
And I choose to do it. And I also had a big break where I didn't wear any makeup because I feel like I don't really need it, even though everyone else is doing it.
Amazing. Yeah. And that's kind of like a much more subtle kind of peer pressure, right? You feel it, it's there, but no one is telling you. Yeah. That was a good example.
I also think that a lot of the peer pressure that we might experience is something that we don't really know that we're experiencing because it can be so low-key and so subtle that we don't even notice it. But a situation that in 6th grade, all the girls were wearing these special sandals, which is they're actually very basic, but they're called Birkenstock, and I wanted to get them too, so I wrote them on my wish list for Christmas and such things, and my and they also had these bags.
Day bags.
Yeah. That all of them were having their stuff in. Either they were using them as school bags and also for gymnastics. Yeah. And I wanted them so bad
But was anybody laughing at you
nobody was laughing, but I was just like, Mom, can I get this? Because all the other girls, I was thinking to myself, all the other girls have them. Yeah.
And that's a very, very interesting actually, because both examples so far have been kind of very silent, unspoken, and subtle peer pressure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
I also remember the day bag trend, and I didn't have one, and then some years later I got it, so I was too late.
But late.
Yeah. I also remember last year I was with a friend group, and the girls were very fancy. They had Prada bags and a lot of clothes, and every time we were out we needed to go on a cafe, and I didn't always want to spend money on a hot chocolate that cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I started to leave them alone and be with my friends like now, you guys, where I can just be at home chilling and watch some Netflix and all that, because I think that it didn't make me my own person. So yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. Wow. And again, none of them told you that you have to
None of
have
them.
expensive things.
But they also was like, "Oh, Inish, why don't you want to go out?" And I said, "It's because I don't want to spend a lot of money." And then they start not to ask me.
Did you ever talk to your parents about that? Like, or did they notice that you're going out a lot and you're asking for money all the time? Or
Yeah, they noticed that I always asked about money, and they said they're not your real friends, or maybe not the friends for you.
yeah,
Because it's also a lot to being 15 years old and spend
That's
100
right.
crowns every day.
that is true. That is
Yeah.
true. If it's a daily thing, that can be very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
Miss Jayla?
mine was in 4th grade actually. We had this period of time where everyone did gymnastics and dance, and because in my school we had like this where we performed every 3rd month or something, and so we always did that in the breaks, gymnastics, and had fun. But it was always the skinny girls that were doing it, and my best friend at that time, she was skinny. She had been going to gymnastics for I think 7 years and did all the flips, and everyone wanted to be that and do that. So her and my other friend, they were like the front page of the class, and they were skinny, they were petite, and then I started gymnastics. I only went there for 8 months, but that's I started gymnastics, and I caught myself thinking about like, okay, I have to like look like them, because then I'm also one of the cool ones. And I also wanted to be in the front of the dances,
To be
because
picked for the
exactly,
main
and
role? Okay, yeah.
so it was more like wanting to be. I wanted to look like them. Not that I wasn't comfortable with myself, but also the other girls were like, oh, these two, they're the cool ones, and they can do
Yeah.
everything. Or if we had to pick them for something, it was always them, those two. And then I was like, I wanted to be that too. But yeah.
I have a question. Was there, a competition between you girls?
And there was a big competition, especially in 4th and 5th grade. All the girls were like, either they wanted to be that or they hated that. So it's like, it was nothing in between. It was,
Yeah.
always wanting to be better. Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you, ladies, so much for that example. And I'm sure that someone out there, is watching and thinking exactly, or nodding like, yeah, I've experienced that. And that's what we want the show to be about. We want it to be kind of like a discussion and just talk about real life things, so I really hope that this resonates with you in one way or the other. If you're a parent to a teenager or a preteen, this is definitely, I think, a forum that you can use for something. Now, next, ladies, now we've talked about your specific experiences and challenges. Now, I just want you, can you guys name some of the most common peer pressure that teenagers and your peers are going through? Not something that you necessarily have experienced, but just something that you think that, out there. Because I'm old school, I was a teenager in the 90s, so that's way back then.
The drinking culture in Denmark is
And I see you all nodding like,
it's
drinking.
insane. Where like young people are drinking so much.
You mean water?
No.
Yes. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. And when you feel like when you're at a party and then people are like, don't you want a beer or something like that, and you're like, no, I'm not really feeling it today, and they're like, come on, we're going to be wasted, and all those things.
So they actually plan to get drunk.
It's just like, it's a common question is, so how drunk are we going to be tonight from 1 to 10? Like,
It's
and
on
then
a scale.
a scale.
And it goes super wasted or wasted.
wasted.
Not
What?
not like
just sober.
So not no wasted, but super wasted.
It's super wasted, or you just
And even if you don't drink, they're like, oh, come on, you're boring.
you're
and,
boring.
And then before they drink, they're like, oh, we accept it. But when they drink, they're like, oh, come on,
Then they start to,
come
like,
drink.
push it on
And
you.
yeah. and-
So correct me if I'm wrong. So drinking is kind of like drinking is equals to fun.
Yeah, and I think it's so wrong because we have fun all the time, and we don't drink. So why is that making you a fun person to drink? And people also, when I'm at a party and I haven't drank, then they ask me, "Oh, have you drank some alcohol?" No, I'm just living my best
Do you
life.
feel
and have-
feel out of place when you say no sometimes? Have you ever felt like
maybe
yeah.
in the beginning,
Yeah.
but now I really don't care about
Yeah.
what people are saying.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, niceness. It's nice that you can have fun and be outgoing without drinking."
Yeah.
So
because that's one thing that you have to know as young people as well. Sometimes acceptance is so important, especially for this age that you're going through right now, that you are in. Oh, you want to be accepted. You want to be like a part of the cool kids and all of that. But when you stand your ground and say no, they might not accept you then. But trust me, they will respect you in the longer run because you've been true to yourself. Go ahead,
But I
Sasha.
still feel like it's funny because some people that actually accept you not drinking or not, caving in, think it's cool that you don't drink. They're like, oh my God, I respect you so much for not
good.
drinking. And
Yeah.
it's fine, but like, why does it have to be something that, like, I'm kind of better?
Special,
It's
yeah.
I'm special
Why does it have to be-
because I don't drink.
Yeah,
Because
so like
I can
drinking
say
is the
no.
norm. Drinking
Yeah.
is the norm, and not drinking is somehow abnormal. Like, wow, you're somehow
Yeah.
put on a pedestal.
Yeah, kind
Okay.
of.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
and
I got
I'm
what
like,
you mean. That's really
why do you have to drink to every party you go to? It's
Yeah,
not necessary.
and I don't judge people who drink, but I don't want them to force me to drink.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just stay in your place and I stay in mine.
that is
Yeah,
true.
me too.
It's also kind of like a personality trait for some people because I've noticed when I like get to know somebody new, they always ask, there's the basic questions that you ask, like, how old are you and what's your name? And then sometimes it's just, do you drink?
Okay.
And it's like, why does that have?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that like have to do
Wow.
with your first impression of me? Why does
right, that's
why does that affect me in some way? And why does that affect your perception of me?
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the person I am.
Yeah.
And then when
Absolutely
you say no,
nothing.
they're like, oh, you don't.
Really?
Like, why do I have to be praised for not?
You are the girl we're not gonna party with, right?
Then they're like, okay, this girl, she's boring and she can't have fun because she doesn't drink. Like, you
Yeah.
clearly don't know me then,
That's
because
right. That's right.
get to know me and then you'll see.
And there's also a lot of people who like, I need to drink before we go to this
Yeah.
party.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna be an
Oh,
outgoing
yeah.
person and deal with a lot of personalities.
Rewind. What? You want to start drinking before you get to the party?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
So you don't actually wait to get to the party to drink.
it's a warm up, so
Yeah.
you can be more outgoing and more
And
crazy,
more
and
fun from the beginning, yeah.
From the beginning, so people don't see that you're changing your personality.
So people think, oh, she's on it from the beginning and she's
Yeah.
all this, when they're actually kind of tipsy or
yeah,
Parents,
just
did you guys know this? Because I didn't. I know we're talking about drinking and all of this, but I actually thought that it was drinking at the party, like not like pre-drinking to get the mood right and
yeah.
That's
Another
interesting.
thing is the part where how much you tried sexually.
Yeah.
Like having sex, having.
But did you guys know something, Sasha? Just hold on to that thought. Did you guys know, actually, I was reading, I think it was a study from World Health Organization where they were saying that they did a study in Europe, and Denmark was actually the leading country when it comes to teenage drinking, I think from 15-year-old, where it was 82%, whereby the rest of the European countries was, I think the highest was 59. That's a lot.
It really doesn't surprise me.
That's a lot, because when as a teenager, I mean, the part of your brain is not fully developed yet. So when it comes to taking risk and taking chances and all of those things, like you just think that you're, invincible and immortal and all of that. But your brain is not actually, and then when you put alcohol on top of that, especially excessive drinking, like I'm hearing here, it's not just like, drinking a little breezer or something like that. But when you put out, it really affects your sense of judgment. It affects you. You know, you put yourself in a situation where you're supposed to say no to boys or trying drugs or something. And once you've tried alcohol, if your brain is affected, your sense of judgment it decreases.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you might say yes to something that if you were in your right set of mind, you would say no to. So that's really, really sad. And I'm shocked. I'm sitting here as an adult, like, whoa, like really shocked at some of these things. Sorry, Sasha, you were saying something about sex or...
Yeah, like it's a common question also when you just have to get to know people. I started at high school 3 weeks ago, and I was out with some from my class, and then we sat at Burger King, and then they just asked, so have you, like, do you still have your virginity or something like that? Wow. And I was like, I was just quiet, and then everybody started talking about it, and most of them were like, yes, I lost my virginity, and
Wow.
and then they just started talking about that, like it was a judgment ground for how they think I am.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's a
it has-
personality trait. It's like...
It has nothing. I'm not boring. Just
So
because
if you said, for example, yes, I've lost my virginity at the age of 15 or whatever, would that make you cool, or would they think like,
That would pretty much just be normal for people.
that would be very normal.
But
And
I think it's like they see it as how mature you are. If I'm 16 and you're 16 and you drink and you've done everything with the boy, then they see you as the mature one. Yeah.
That is quite interesting, because when I was growing up, the mentality towards sex as a teenager was way different. And and of course, growing up, that's one thing in my age at that time. But also remember, there's also a cultural difference. But when I was growing up, if you were a 15-year-old talking about sex in a way to say, yes, I've had sex, that actually made people kind of like look at you in a strange way. Not like now that you're talking about that, they look at you like you're matured. They looked at you as if you were weak and you couldn't say no, and you were rushing to grow up, to put yourself where you don't belong in. So that's quite very interesting comparison.
And I have heard a question repeating a lot to me, like, wow, you're so beautiful. You are so beautiful girl. How haven't you lost your virginity?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Really?
And I said, I'm ready when I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I'm picky, so I need to, I want to choose my own partner one day when I feel, comfortable with. So why are you saying that to me?
That is so wise. That is
and
so
it's
wise.
like people associate, okay, she's beautiful, so she must have lost her virginity.
Yes,
She must
yes.
like, how does that have anything
Yeah.
to do with each other? But can I circulate back to alcohol quickly?
Yes, do that.
About the study that you told. I've also seen, I know I'm not the only one, but a lot of people our age, when they're bored, you see them like at parking lots or some places. A park and just drinking. Just sitting on a bench and drinking. And it looks so sad. Really, like if I go, like, it's 8 o'clock and I walk down here in the center and I just see children like my age on a bench drinking, just looks like they're having fun, but it's still, you're just, why?
And I tell you, now I'm going to focus my attention to whoever is watching, whether it be a parent or a teenager going through this. Most times, these teens that are drinking are not drinking because they really want to drink. It's because a friend or a group of people, say, oh, come, let's just drink. And you don't always want to be the one saying no. So it is actually, most of the time, it's peer pressure. So I really hope that you can find friends that you can hang around with that have the same value as you do and would not pressure you to do something that, And also for the parents, I think it's important that we communicate to our kids, try to catch the signals that you can tell when your kids is, their behavior is different. So I think it's very important to communicate and to teach our kids, to let them, adults, please let us be adult. We don't have to be our kids' friends first and foremost. We are parents, So I think it's very important to be the parent that would set that ground rules because you know better. You've been there. They haven't been there. Am I right, ladies? What do you think about,
And I also have a thing
Yeah.
to say. I have seen a lot of, people, kids have been sober and they acted like they drink some alcohol.
Oh my
They
God.
acted
that's
drunk.
so true. Yeah.
Acted drunk. What? So they feel more
You
funny,
ladies
and
are
it's so,
shocking me today.
and
How
it's
can
so
someone
funny
act
to
drunk?
see how they act.
And you
Because
can
it's so
clearly see it.
embarrassing for them.
You can
because-
clearly see it.
Or they
Is
buy
it clear
alcohol.
to see that they're acting drunk?
Yeah,
Yes.
because
They're
she
like,
took a sip of a beer.
Or in
Now
it,
she's
in it,
drunk.
also when they buy alcohol just to take a video of it to put it on the
And
story.
then
I
give it
will
out.
tell you that I commend you, ladies, for sitting here today, and I do not envy you being a teenager now in the year 2020. Seriously, because these are some serious things that you're talking about that could affect the rest of your life. That is just something. I mean, parents, again, did you know this? Acting drunk when you haven't even drank alcohol just to look cool, or just buying the alcohol. Here's my hope in sharing mug, but there's no alcohol in it, by the way. But just, taking pictures with alcohol just to show that you're cool.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Wow. All right, yeah, woof. All right, moving on. Now I want to ask you, ladies, why do you think that a lot of teenagers cave in to peer pressure?
Because you never know what people are thinking. If I can come with an example, can I?
Yes, please do.
I don't really think it's relevant to say like what this was about, but I remember a year ago, 4 of my friends, we were at a party and no one like really knew anyone, and then actually I didn't do it, but the 3 of them, they wanted to drink, so they were all like, yeah, sure, okay, we yeah, let's just do it. And they were like, I could clearly see that they did not want to do it, but I felt like, okay, it's not my place because I already said I'm not going to do it, so that's your business. I'm not going to be in your business. But then the next day, they had a fine. Like the evening was okay, but then we all slept together the next day, and then we all woke up and they were like, I actually did not want to do it. So you can never really know what somebody else is thinking because their mouths were saying, yeah, sure.
And that brings me to a question, because you said they were your friends, and you could clearly see that they didn't want to drink.
Yeah.
Could you maybe have, in hindsight, said to them, like, are you sure you want to do this? Do you think it would have helped, like, giving them a second thought?
I think it would have helped if I took them, like, singled them out and said, are you sure you want to do it? Because I think they don't want to do it. But then again, we were at this big party, and I feel like, okay, am I wrong for thinking that they don't want to do it? But then I'm going to just, like, leave this out. But they all said, like, oh my God, y'all didn't want to do it either. And everyone was just shocked because you could never know what someone is going through or what someone is thinking about. So I think that's why people can cave under, because you never really know.
I think the lesson here is, actually, that's a very good example, even though you didn't think it was relevant. The lesson here is that if you're a friend and you know your friend and you know that this is not something that they would want to do, I think it's a good idea. Rather say it one time too many, because it could be maybe not just drink. It could be something. It could be some kind of a drugs that they try. You guys know that I'm a nurse, and I've seen young people how drugs have really just taken them to their grave or just messed them up for the rest of their lives. So sometimes it's just that one friend sticking out and saying that, you know what, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And maybe they will do it, but they will come back to you and say, you know what, you were right. Because you're a true friend. So, you know what I mean? Always just, speak your opinion, especially if you know the person.
I know, I just, something quick.
Yeah.
When I'm at a party and some of my friends are like, the drunk part of them wants to smoke, and the sober ones, the sober part of them doesn't want to, and they're saying to me when they're tipsy, or asking me to tell them when they're drunk not to smoke.
Oh,
and then they're like, and if I'm getting angry at you, it's not because I'm angry, it's just because I'm drunk.
And that's not an excuse.
No, but it's like,
Well,
and then
smart young lady.
I'm trying to tell them, like, and then I just stop trying at a point because I don't want them to, you know.
Yeah.
But also,
So, Sasha, they're asking you, please, Sasha, I know I'm going to get drunk at this party. When I get drunk, if I want to smoke or if I want to do something, please stop me.
Yeah.
And if I'm angry, just don't mind me. It's just the
Yeah.
alcohol talking.
Yeah.
Wow. And have you guys experienced that as well?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Wow. Wow.
I have experienced that. I had a friend, and he had a girlfriend, and he said to me, "So I'm getting drunk tonight. So if I'm getting very flirty with another person, say to me that I need to stop flirting with that person so I wouldn't cheat on her." And I said,
Ooh.
what are you asking me to do? Because
Wow.
that's that's your mind saying
Yes,
something.
exactly. Yeah. Kind of like premeditated. Yeah.
And that's, people do actions when they're drunk,
But
but low key, it's their mind. They're doing it too. You are
it's
awake.
drunk people
You're
and
not
children who
sleeping.
tell the truth. So if you do it when you're drunk, you wanted to do it when you're sober. So
Yeah.
you can't really, or not wanted to, but you probably thought about
Yeah.
it.
How if we're looking at solution, we don't have the solution obviously because it's a discussion, and we hope that people out there might also contribute and chip in with whatever advice or just let us know your opinion and your thoughts on this. What do you think would help this culture of excessive drinking, peer pressure when it comes to sex, smoking, drinking, all these things that are not good? What do you think could help that? Any thoughts on?
Actually, I think videos like these could.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really experienced or come across a video like this.
No.
Or when I've like researched it,
Yeah.
because I once have like, oh my God, is it normal for people to like my age to drink? And
Yeah.
they were all like, go ahead, try it. And if you're
Yes.
safe with your friends and if your parents allowed you, what about the ones who doesn't really want to try?
That's right.
So I think videos like these
Yes.
could raise awareness for
Yeah.
other teens who are like, oh
That's
my God,
really,
I
really
don't want to
good.
drink
That's
either.
really- and that's the purpose for this as well. Yeah. go
And
ahead,
you
Jenny.
know that when you're 16 and under, you can't legally buy alcohol.
Yeah.
But a lot of teens, they use fake ID to buy alcohol. So it's not even, they're not even allowed to. So sometimes if they get like, they tell them, let me see the ID, they show a fake ID. Yeah.
So do you
And
think
get their
any-
friends to buy it.
Yeah.
or get older friends
Yeah.
to buy it? What do you think could be a solution to help, not to eliminate it, but at least to?
But I think it's important to say that that we aren't angels.
No,
because
yeah,
some
yeah,
of
that's
us
right.
have maybe experienced the same
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
But we just talking about how you can do it better.
That's
and,
right.
You
That's
know,
right.
getting advice, letting them know some of our advices for
Yes.
other people who
And-
is the same position.
And that's the whole idea about hanging out with friends. There's a saying that goes that show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. That's why it's very important to hang out with people that makes you want to be better, a better version of yourself. So you're not really, comparing yourself to anyone or trashing anyone. But when you wake up every morning, you should tell yourself that how can I be better than I was yesterday? You know what I mean? So it's not like you're putting yourself on a pedestal, because I'm sure you guys, like you said, you've all fallen into some kind of a peer pressure at one time in your life. I have as well when I was growing up. But it's how do you come to that awareness where you say, no, I have to be true to myself, because if I'm not true to myself, it doesn't matter how other people think about me. I'm letting myself down.
Yeah, but you also have to love yourself first.
You have to
before
love
you
yourself
can-
first. Exactly. You know
Before,
what's right.
yeah.
That's
So that
right.
you can respect yourself and your own boundaries.
Yeah.
And you
Yes,
know, and if you know that you have good friends, then you wouldn't they would know when not to push you anymore,
Do
or
you
you would
think-
know how to stop, because you know they would accept
That's right,
you.
Jada. That's
So
right.
it's the
Do you
friends.
think that parent could do anything? Like, should it start from home? Should it start from the school? What do you think? What do you guys? Or
I
could
just
help?
think
Yeah.
the most important part of all this is just, talking about all these things, because the only way that we can, know what people think is
Yeah.
to speak with
to
them
address it.
and to address it.
And
Yeah.
don't be shy. And my mom, she can spot easily if some people are good for me or bad for me,
There you go.
or if they're making me a worse, like a
you
better person or
Yes.
a better. So
That's very, very interesting, because that's where I think that the parent role is is very important. I have been one of those mothers, and I don't know the saying, they call it the hunsemoor. They call it I'm in Danish or so.
Hundemoor.
But hundemoor, yeah, hundemoor. See, that's why we're doing this in English, okay? Because I'll be speaking all sorts of Danish. But anyway, I've been one of those mothers who I took it upon myself to not to choose my children's friend, but to approve of who they hang out with. So I always encourage them to bring their friends at home, and I also wanted to know the parents because, I mean, kids, teenagers, your friends have such a big influence on you. So I always, like, if there's a friend that I think, no, my daughter is acting in a way that she doesn't want to act, I would tell her, Jayla, I don't want you to hang out with that person. And then as you know, as time goes along, she's gonna grow up and get her own sense of judgment, and she'll know, okay, this is why my mom didn't want me. So I don't really choose a friend. She chooses a friend, but I approve of them. You know, so yeah. Don't you think, Jayla, how it's been that way?
It has, but I don't think I've had many problems with
No,
friends.
you haven't. No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
Not yet.
No. Well, by God's grace, you wouldn't.
No matter like how much parents think, oh my God, my daughter doesn't like really care for my approval, we actually do, because I sometimes think, for example, I had a friend who she like every time she was in my house, she never like came and said like hello to my mom or my dad, like anyone, and she just really didn't have any manners, but she still wasn't like a good friend, and she was funny, but I tried to like indirectly say, oh my God, my mom isn't there, and just like I really wanted my mom to like her because I liked her.
You liked her, yeah.
So even though parents think, oh my God, I'm just telling her what I think, but she doesn't care, we do care.
You do care.
So it's important for me that my parents like my friends and my friends like my parents.
And you have a very good mom, because Jayla's mom would go to her friend and tell Jayla, say, tell your friend to come out and say hello, because and that's just basic manners. It's not rudeness, but you don't come into somebody's house and not
dismiss the parents
and not say hello, like just forget it. Okay, you know, Luna, she's 13, she's paying the bills here, she's the head of the house.
But also friends, they want to get, like, if she wants to know if you like her, because it's like also important for her to show her good side.
Yes.
Not
I
as
know
if
what you
she's
mean.
but like also a lot of my friends said like, oh, I really like your mom. Does she like me? Or can I come to your house or something? And that's actually the most important part for me, that my parents like my friends and my friends like my family.
Yeah, that's true. All right, ladies. Oh, this has been so interesting. Now, believe it or not, we're about to round up. But I would like to ask you guys, if there is a teenager, a friend, a preteen, or someone going through some kind of a peer pressure, and they really don't know how to get out of it, how to say no, any advice that you think that you would give? I mean, because you guys you're living it. Any advice?
Yeah. I think sometimes it can be so hard to just cut friends off, but you can start slowly. You can stop telling them like, oh, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like, because then they know that, okay, if I don't change, then she'll maybe drift away, and then maybe stop taking contact, and then just, it will slowly fade away, because then she realizes, oh, and then if she asks you, or he, then you can explain and say like, I don't like when you're doing this and that. And if they get mad and they're not understanding, then they're not good friends, because then they know that, okay, she's just like this. But if she knows that I'm the reason why you're not wanting to be my friend, then I'm a good friend, because I can see that it's my fault, and then I will try to make it better so we can still be friends.
So you're trying to say, be direct and then find a way to cut the ties.
In a nice way.
In a nice way, if it's not good for you. Okay, and that's very good advice.
And maybe sometimes a pause will, you know...
A pause?
A pause in the friendship.
In the friendship, okay.
A break, you know, you will come together and be stronger and better than ever you have been. And, you know, you will think... all the time you're not together, you will think, okay, what have I done wrong in the past, so I can be a better person
Yeah,
for my
yeah.
friends and otherwise.
There you go. Yes, good advice.
Definitely just communicate. Because there are also situations where you actually can come to your parents, because if I feel like, oh my god, my friends are going to judge me if I tell them this, and I've like been pressured into doing something, if your parents aren't available, or you just like feel shame, there are also forums on the internet that you can contact, because
That's right.
you're not alone
That's
dealing with
true.
this, and hundreds of, actually millions of people have, have experienced this. So
That's
there
right.
are like sites where you can come to your girl problems, boy problems, everything.
Yes, that's so true.
So there's pretty much always someone that you can
Yeah.
contact, and even if it's a stranger.
Yes.
I think I just wanted to say something before we
yeah.
close the discussion. Something about we've talked about all these negative sides of peer pressure,
It's
but it's not necessarily a bad thing all the time.
Yeah, because that would have also been a question.
Yeah.
I had that question in, like we talked about earlier before the show.
Yeah.
Like peer pressure, is it always a negative thing? But we're gonna find. I think I would also love the viewers to maybe comment on something. Peer pressure, is it always negative?
Yeah.
Can there be positive peer pressure? Do you think there could be positive peer pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do as well.
But I just wouldn't call it peer pressure. Then it would have something else. But because peer pressure has kind of a negative. Yeah.
That is what we've made it to be. Peer pressure can actually be positive as well, because you could be in a peer where they kind of like pressure you silently, like in a subtle way, to want to study, to want to improve your grades, to want to not to drink. So peer pressure can be.
But then we could like call it peer encouragement or something, because they kind of like encourage you to do something.
Yeah, but it's actually under the definition of peer pressure as well.
is.
So peer pressure, you have like spoken, non-spoken, direct, indirect, negative, positive. So
Peer
all
pressure
those ones.
also vibes like
Yeah.
we're happy and then you come and you're mad, then you're like, okay, I have
Pressure
to be
into
happy
being
as
happy.
well.
And
And
then
it's
you
not
go,
a bad
they
thing.
always,
Yeah.
always putting me in a good mood.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
Also, for example, if you're saying that, a negative thing to Luna, me and Jella could, for example, say, "Oh, don't say that. That's not
Yes,
sweet of you."
yeah.
That's also peer pressure, but in a good way.
Yeah. But I think it's very good also that we've addressed today the negative side of peer pressure, because that's what majority. That's what you guys are going through. The positive peer pressure is there, but people don't really notice that. But it's so that was a very good point as well, Sasha. So yes, I think it's been very, very good. Thank you, ladies, so much. And I think it's and just the way we did this, we're discussing. This is how you guys would naturally do. And I hope that you continue to be an example. Like you said, Ines, no one is an angel. No one is perfect. Everybody have their shortcomings, but you try to do better and to improve yourself and to help, your teens, your classmates, your friends to also want to do better. So if you want good friends, you have to start by being good friends to other people, right?
Yeah.
So with that said, we just want to thank you all so much for joining in online. The hope in sharing, and we hope that through their sharing that it will create some kind of a hope for someone out there, a young person, a teenager that will be going through some kind of a struggle. My final word before we close is, you've heard the advice from these beautiful ladies, and I would just like to say, we've said it before and I want to emphasize that. Talk to your parents. I hope that you have parents that you feel comfortable enough to talk to. Talk to your teachers. If you trust your teacher, talk to a friend. And another thing is that if it feels wrong, if it's going against your moral, your spiritual, your emotional, your social compass, it is wrong. Say no, it's not right, okay? You have to be true to yourself before being true to someone else. And then also, you might not be accepted right now, but you will be respected because you respect yourself and you take care of yourself. And it's also better to be an outsider and feel good about yourself than to be an insider and feel crappy about yourself. Always stay true to yourself. Thank you for watching Hope in Sharing, and see you next time. Bye-bye. Make sure to subscribe to our Hope in Sharing YouTube channel, and please click on the like and notification button to be notified when we upload the next episode with a new topic. Also, please let us know in the comment section below if there is a topic you would like us to discuss. We welcome and appreciate your support. See you next time, and thanks for being a part of the Hope in Sharing community.